Hello PHP lovers, welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial we will talk about PHP numbers. So similarly, first of all we have to open our XAMPP control panel and start the Apache server and create a new PHP file. Then we start our coding and run the code on browser. So let's start. First of all we will see how to check a number is an integer or not. For checking it, we will use a PHP function called isInt. The function is isInt, and here we will create a variable first, like x, and in this variable we put an integer value. Now the isInt function will return true if it's an integer, and if it's not an integer then it will return false. So we provide the variable here. That's mean we provide a number in the function isInt, and save the file. Let's run the code. Localhost. We have already created a file named numbers.php. So first of all we will put the name of our project folder, then provide the PHP file, hit the enter button. See, nothing is showing here because we didn't print anything here. So let's try to print it. Echo. Let's see what happened. Refresh the page. See, it shows 1. That's mean 1 means it's true. Actually 1 means true and 0 means false. But if you want to show the actual return result of isInt, in that case we have to use a PHP function called var_dump. var_dump provides the data type and the value of a variable. So let's use the PHP function var_dump, and here we provide this function. That's mean when the function result is returned will be sent to the var_dump function, and var_dump function will show the expected result what we want. Here we want to show the variable type and the value of the variable. So now let's print it. See, the variable type is bool and the value is true. That's mean it's an integer number. Suppose we provide a floating point number here. See what happened. See, now it shows false. So in this process we can check if value is integer or not. Now let's see how to check a floating point number. Similarly, there is a PHP function called isFloat. So just type isFloat and provide the value. And the value means our value is already in the x variable, so we provide it here. Now refresh the page. See, now it's showing true. That's mean our provided value is a floating point number. Now let's see whether a value is infinite or not. For checking it, there is a PHP function called isFinite, and an infinite value is a numeric value that is larger than PHP float max. PHP float max is a PHP default constant. You can check the PHP float max value by printing it. So type echo, then PHP float max. Let's print it. So this is the PHP float max value. If a value is larger than this value, then PHP will consider the value as an infinite value. So let's check whether a value is an infinite or not. For checking it, similarly, var dump and then we will use a PHP function called isFinite. Then in this function we will provide our value in our x variable 123.56. Now let's refresh the page. See, our PHP float max value is 1 point something and our provided value is 123.56. So it should be an infinite value here. Let's see what happened. Refresh the page. See, it's provide the true. That's mean our provided value is an infinite value. If we provide a small number which is smaller than the PHP float max, let's see what happened. Something like this. Now refresh the page. See, false. So PHP is not considering this value as an infinite value. So by this process we can check whether a value is infinite or not in PHP. Now let's talk about PHP none. None stands for not a number. None is used for impossible mathematical operation. That means if doing a mathematical operation is not possible by PHP, then PHP returns none. So we can check whether a number is none or not. For checking it, we have to write something which is not possible to operate mathematically by PHP. So something like this, acos. Acos is provide the arc cosine number. So if you want to learn more about arc cosine, I provide a link in description section. You can go there and learn more about arc cosine. And here I am providing a number 8. It's not possible to provide an arc cosine value for 8. So the arc cosine function of PHP will return a none. That's mean not a number. So the none will be stored in x variable. So let's see what happened. Refresh the page. See, this showing the value as none. So now if we want to check whether a value is none or not, there is a PHP function called is none, and here we will provide our value. So if this is a none value, it should provide the result true. Let's see what happened. See, it's true, and that means the x contains the none value. By this process we can check whether a value is none or not. Now we can check in PHP whether a string is numeric or not. For checking it, we take a string value which string contains all of numeric characters. Then there is a PHP function called is numeric, and in this function we provided the value this, that's mean x. Now it should provide the result true because it's a numeric string. So let's see what happened. See, it's true. That means our string contains all numeric characters. What happens if we provide something alphabetic character with it? Let's see what happened. Refresh the page. See, now it's false. That means our string is not a numeric. So by this process we can check whether a string is numeric or not. Now we will learn PHP casting. Sometimes you need to cast a numerical value into another data type. And here I want to recall you an information which I provided earlier also. That is, we don't need to declare any data type for PHP variable. PHP variable will automatically convert by provided value. That's mean if you provide a string, PHP variable automatically considered it's an string type variable. If you provide an integer, PHP can automatically detect that this variable contains an integer. We don't need to declare any data type for PHP variable. So now we will learn casting. For learning casting, first of all, we store a floating point number in the variable x and try to var dump it. So let's see what happened. See, it's provide the value which I provided in x and show the data type of the variable is float. If we provide an integer, see here is showing the value and the data type is int. If we provide an string, see this is an string, contains 5 characters and the value is this. That means PHP is automatically detecting its variable type by the provided value in it. And here we are learning casting. So again put a floating point number. It's a floating point number, and to cast it an integer type number, we just provide a parenthesis at the beginning of the value or variable, whatever you want to cast. So here we can provide it here or here as well. I will try for both. First of all, try it. At the beginning of this value, I provided the parenthesis, and in this parenthesis I typed int. That's it. Now it's casted as an integer. So let's see what happened. Here previously we showed this variable contains the floating point number and the value is this. Now we already casted it as an integer, and let's check, refresh the page. See, now it's already casted as an integer and provide the value, which is the value without fraction or before the decimal point, which is 1 2 3 4 5. So this is the process of casting. So if you want to cast a string, you can do it as well. For example, now it's a string and we didn't cast it. So let's see what happened. Refresh the page. See, it shows it's an string, contains 5 characters and the value is 1 2 3 4 5. Now if we want to cast it an integer as well, refresh the page. See, now it's an integer value, and PHP is considering the variable contains a integer type data. And we can cast it here as well. The meaning is same. Let's see. See, same. So this is the process of casting. You can cast it as a float, as an integer, or a string, whatever you want to cast a floating point number. Suppose something like this, and this is an string. This is a string, contains 8 characters, and the characters are this. Now we want to cast it as a floating point number, so type float only. Refresh it. See, now PHP is considering the variable x contains a floating number, which is this. So that's it. By these processes we can handle numbers in PHP, and there is many more functions in PHP for handling numbers. That's all. That's all for this tutorial. And please comment if you feel anything regarding this tutorial, and don't forget to subscribe the channel. Thank you.